Hi there, Joka here, and today I'm going to be focusing on yet another new Spellbinders product from their Essentials, um, Glimmer Essentials line, the Duo Lines Ovals. Now, I'm always, well, most of the time, I'm selecting my papers first, and these are some old and new Alexander Ranke papers, the pattern papers that I wanted to use. So I had this chance. And I also selected some color cardstock that coordinate with them. Now, when I'm using striped paper, I'm trying to make sure that that there is no lines cut in half, or if I can do that, if I can avoid doing that, then I'm doing that. Okay, so this is the product that I was talking about. So there's several oval plates in this set, and they work well together. I'm trying to figure out how I want to foil them. And I also pulled out this older product. I don't know if it's still available, but I'm gonna check and link it in if it is. It's one of those die sets that I use most of the time, this simple oval set, because it's not the same oval as these plates, but I think it works fine with them, and I want to create a shaker card from one of these panels. So I don't foil very often, which is probably why I'm not very good at it. So I will make a mistake here. I think it's trial and error. Apparently I was also not using the right paper. Apparently the smoother you use, the better. And this is it's a bit textured. So you see I have overfoiling here, but I managed to remove that, and I will show you how in a minute. And I did try this again. The first time I used a piece of paper as a shim because I wanted to get a really nice impression, but unfortunately it gave me overfoiling on the sides. So I'm trying without that paper shim. Yeah, the result was better, I think, but somehow on the top and the bottom I had some underfoiling, so it was not as sharp. So I'm going to fix the overfoiling, and I think I'm gonna go with that panel. So yeah, this is trial and error. Okay, so this is what I did. I just took that pencil that I have eraser on, because that's small enough to get into these spaces, and as you can see, I totally managed to remove that foil there. Okay, so I'm going to create all these cards in parallel, so bear with me. This one is going to be the what's it called? The shaker card. I die cut a window using that oval die set that I showed you earlier, and I did this from a heavyweight cardstock as well, and I'm backing that pattern paper with it because, you know, when I'm adding foam, I like it to be sturdy. Okay, and this one here, this die set is actually, it was a part of a card kit last summer. I'm not sure if it's available still, but it's one of my favorites, and because it's quite easy to use it. There's not a lot of layers to it. The main flowers are just two layers. Here I'm cutting, this is going to be the top design, and then if you don't use the middle part, that cuts out all the little details, then only the outline, then that's going to be your bottom layer. And there's a lot of tiny little pieces and bits in this set that you can, or you can also, you don't have to use all these circles. You can cut them from different color, and then you can create a different color center for the flowers. But this this is a really good set for mixing and matching and creating whatever you fancy. There are all these small bits that you can layer however you want and then create different kind of small flowers. So I really like this set. So I die cut them from a few colors just so that I can mix and match. And yeah, there are these small berries. They are super tiny, and they also have two layers. Just you can see a tiny bit of color at the top if you layer them together. And then there are those branches that hold 5 of these, I believe. And there's 2 dies, so you do have to die cut these a bunch of times. But the other ones are a lot easier and go quicker. So yeah, if I'm looking at it, I kind of think that this looks like Christmas. But I was going for spring, honestly, but okay. Um, anyway, the one thing I really like about these essential products is that I really, really use them a lot because I like to add geometric shapes to my floral cards or any other cards. Really, they go with everything, any design. So I was really happy with this one because it adds a little bit of something to your card, just a little bit of gold, and gold is always good. And of course, you can totally use any other color foil. It's just me, I guess. I think I probably 90% of the time I go with gold. Yeah, so I'm assembling my flowers, and this is the simplest card of the 3. It has the least flowers on it, and just really not much to it. Just the pattern in the background, and then the foiling, and then just a bunch of flowers. And this is my second card. I think I'm not even showing you the assembly on the third because it's exactly the same. I'm just sometimes I'm using liquid glue, sometimes I'm using foam tape, depending on how much dimension I want to create. And here, if you can see that branch which I used on the previous card with the berries, I did not bother to make more berries this time. I just use those as branches. I think they look pretty nice then this way as well. Okay, so here you can see I'm using one of those circles that I mentioned earlier to back the center of this flower, and then I have more colors this way. And yeah, and then I just really, you can assemble these flowers however you want to. I'm not actually certain that this was the intended way, the way I did it. So, I really like this about this particular set. Okay, and here I'm slowing down the video. This might not be interesting at all to most of you, but one of my followers asked me to show her how I create my card bases. So you can skip this. So basically, I'm cutting apart a 12 by 12 heavyweight cardstock, which I only use for creating my card bases and to back or mount my scrapbook layouts on. The paper, I like the weight. I don't like the color. It has a gray tone, so I don't use it for anything else. Now, I don't know, if I had a design on the inside of the card, I would use Nina for sure, because that white is just much nicer. So I cut 2 strips of 4 1/4 cardstock, and that way I get 2 card bases from one 12 by 12. It seems like a bit of a waste. If you're in the States and you have letter size cardstock, then it's much more economical because you can have 2 card bases and you don't waste anything. Sometimes I don't have the same exact size for my card front and the card base, so I just trim off the edges. And um, about waste, I mentioned previously before that even though I have a strip of paper remaining from the 12 by 12 paper, I never throw these away. I use them for many, many things. You will see me use them backing up different things just to make them stronger. I use them for die cuts if I need several layers. The top layer is always Nina, um, but I will use these pieces, so nothing goes to waste. Um, anyway, I hope that helped somebody. But if there's any questions, please just let me know. I'm always happy to answer. Okay, so this card is nearly finished. It's a very, very simple, but I still like the design. These flowers are just so pretty. I think you cannot go wrong however you place them. You can obviously place them at the bottom, on the side, whatever you fancy. And then last but not least, I'm adding my twine bow here at the top. And yeah, I always glue down the middle here so that it doesn't move. I don't know. I don't know if you have to do this. I just prefer that it stays in place. Okay, then the second card here, I actually used for the middle, that oval. I die cut that out of my third card, the one that's going to be a shaker. But obviously, I don't like to, like I said, I don't like to waste things. So I simply back that with another oval so that it's sturdy. And now I'm adding foam tape to it. And then I just add this as my focal point. And that way I did not waste anything. And here I have a bit more flowers than on the previous card. And this time I'm adding them at the bottom. I'm just trying to arrange, you know, whatever way I like in that very moment. I'm pretty sure I would arrange them differently now, but I'm thinking that's the same with all of you. Okay, so I'm gluing down the greenery first, and then I will add the flowers as well. And yeah, some foam tape to the biggest flower just so that I have a bit of variation in depth and yeah, dimension. And I will finish off this card with a simple sentiment again. I really, really need to foil more of them. I like to have them on hand ready to go because by the time I get to the sentiment, you would be surprised. It recently happened that I totally forgot about the sentiment. It's just, I don't know, my brain just doesn't go there. I only think about the card design and then the sentiment is always just an afterthought. Unless my sentiment is my focal point, I generally, yeah, forget about it. So this is why you see me use the same sentiments all over again. But I don't know if you know that Spellbinders has several of these sets, at least two, not that I can recall, but I only have one of them. So if you have those sentiments, you really can cover everything. Well, actually, they have more than two, but the two that I meant is that they are these everyday sentiments. Then they have the Christmas ones, those I have. So they are really super practical. Okay, so my last card, the shaker card, I'm using acetate sheets from also from Spellbinders, their Fun Stampers Journey line. And these are really thick, so I really like to use them. And now I'm creating my card base again. And because Alexandra Renke's papers, the pattern papers, are also kind of cream based, and this is her normal sort of white paper. It's also cream. Um, this is my favorite cardstock when it comes to um, die cutting, for example. If I don't need bright white, if I use pattern papers, I will use these ones, this cream white for my die cuts. Otherwise, I will be using the Nina Solar White. Um, anyway, I'm adding 2 layers of foam tape, as always, because I always use this kind of foam tape, this Scotch one, and for me it's not thick enough. If I put any sequins or beads or whatever in the shaker, they cannot move around if I only add 1 layer. I'm sure there are thicker foam tapes, so you might not need to add 2 layers, but with this one I always do. Then sequins. Yeah, I have so many, but they never ever color coordinate with my projects, so I'm always end up using white. Now I found some that were sort of okay, not perfect, but yeah, I mixed them with a little bit of white. Then the shaker is actually done, and I'm just adding the finishing touches, which are the flowers, and this time I'm using 2 clusters. I like to kind of go with 1 cluster at the bottom, and then opposite side at the top another one. And yeah, you can do like I did here, that there's less at the top, but you can also do the exact same composition. It's really up to you, whatever you fancy. I don't think you can go wrong in crafting very much. I mean, maybe with colors, maybe, but really, you have to like your projects. Nobody else can say, you know, this. I always think there's no rules. I'm sure there are, but I don't like to follow rules, so I just go with whatever I like that particular moment. I always say that because it's totally entirely possible that the next day I would do it completely differently. So I cut off a part of this leaf here, and I will tuck that little tiny bit that I cut off as well. I just kind of had like an empty spot there, so I wanted to fill that up, but I didn't want to die cut another thing again. So yeah, this is almost done as well, and here I'm not even going to use twine, surprisingly. And yeah, no enamel dots, nothing. So I don't know, I really like those Glimmer foiled ovals. um, yeah, the camera doesn't pick it up so well, but in real life it's really pretty. So I hope I could inspire you in some small way today. Again, anytime you have questions, please leave a comment. I'm always happy to help or answer. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.